When it comes to TikTokers who know how to spin controversies into cash and fame, no one holds a candle to Haley Baylee. With over 17 million followers on TikTok, a Sports Illustrated swimsuit feature, a spot on the Time 100 creators list, and multiple endorsements from international companies, Haley sure has a successful platform. And the most impressive part? She only became an influencer in 2022. She started with funny, sarcastic, and relatable videos.
You know, one day I'm gonna die. Mom!
So naturally, it didn't take long for her account to gain traction. Haley became one of the most well-known influencers on TikTok. But behind the fame and love of her adoring fans, people began to uncover a disturbing pattern. It started small with accusations like content theft.
Haley Baylee, please stop copying my videos. So you guys all know my award-winning video about Jackbox that I posted on January 8th. And look at this. This was posted a day ago. This one's not even funny.
But it's TikTok and everyone steals from everyone, so that didn't raise too many red flags. Things started getting a little more serious during the 2024 Met Gala when Haley posted the controversial "Let Them Eat Cake" video that led to a mass unfollowing, not just of Haley, but of almost every celebrity who turned a blind eye to the war in Gaza. She did what other influencers did when they got called out and posted an apology, but it didn't get the reaction she was expecting.
Popular TikToker Haley Baylee is being canceled for her apology video. Now, initially she was being canceled for a video she posted at the Met Gala where she used the saying, "Let them eat cake," which people took to mean, hey look, I'm rich and you're poor.
Of course, the fact that the apology video was 8 minutes long and attracted millions of views and comments was just a bonus for her. Still, Haley survived that scandal, and her audience continued to grow, but it didn't stop there. 2 years later, in 2026, Haley was sued by her ex-husband for revealing details about their sex life and making a joke about the size of his penis.
All good, like...
Totally fine.
Okay, yeah.
I mean,
okay.
like, average, like...
No, yeah.
All the way from, like, yeah, but totally fine.
Okay.
No, he was just...
Yeah,
Like, it's like two Coke cans stacked on top of each other. Maybe even a third type shit. Yeah. Like, he has a... Okay, wait, I'm gonna type it in here.
Yeah, chill.
Now, you may be thinking it's just a simple statement, or it was a compliment and not such a big deal, but I'll explain why it led to a lawsuit and major backlash in a minute. The most shocking part of this video is that the comment about her ex and the lawsuit that followed isn't the most disturbing thing I learned about Haley. The more I researched, the more I understood why people are calling for her cancellation. But before I dive in, let me give you a little backstory about her. Haley was born on August 6, 1992 in Minnesota. She entered the pageant circuit early, and she competed well. She won the Miss Minnesota title and went on to compete in Miss USA, placing in the top 20. Eventually, she transitioned into modeling, worked her way up, and eventually landed a feature in Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition, a benchmark in that industry. But the modeling career ran parallel to something else. At just 21 years old, Haley married Matt Kalil, a former NFL offensive lineman. By her own account, they'd been dating for roughly 6 months before they got married. The marriage lasted until 2022 when they filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. By every account Haley gave publicly, the split was amicable, more than amicable.
Just stay friends. So we ended up getting a divorce. And thankfully, because we were friends, the divorce was really easy. There wasn't any fighting, there wasn't any arguing. Even while we were getting divorced, we continued just to hang out as friends.
She spoke about Matt with warmth. She said he was supportive. She said he helped her even after the divorce, co-leasing an apartment with her in New York City and keeping her on his phone plan. And she made something very clear in multiple videos over the years. Matt valued his privacy. She wanted the internet to stay out of it. She asked repeatedly and emphasized it every time his name came up adjacent to anything she posted. In late 2025, Haley collaborated with a Twitch streamer named Marlon. The concept was simple, just a day-in-the-life collaboration that would involve Marlon spending time with Haley, hanging out, filming, and talking. Just casual content, the kind of low-stakes collaboration that influencers do all the time. And for a while, that's exactly what it was. They filmed around the city, they sat down to eat, they talked, and then Marlon asked a question that, in isolation, sounded perfectly reasonable. Why did you and your ex-husband get divorced?
He really wanted kids, like really young, and I wasn't ready. And we had like a couple other issues, and we were just like, we should just be friends. And we were like, okay, we shared a lawyer. Like, I was on his phone plan until like a couple years ago. Like, we're just like very chill people.
The thing is, Haley didn't stop there. She went on to say that she and Matt hadn't been compatible. Specifically, she said his penis was too big and described the size using the image of 2 Coke cans stacked on top of each other. She showed Marlon something on her phone. I don't know exactly what was on the screen, but people began speculating immediately.
All good, like.
Totally fine. Yeah,
Okay,
great.
yeah,
I mean,
okay.
like average, like.
No, yeah.
All the way from like, yeah, but totally fine.
Okay.
No, he was just.
Yeah,
Like, it's like 2 Coke cans stacked on top of each other. Maybe even a third type shit. Yeah. Like, he has a... Okay, wait. I'm going to type it in here.
Yeah, chill.
The stream stayed live on Marlon's YouTube channel. Nobody scrubbed it. Clips started spreading across TikTok and X. People who had never seen the original stream found the highlights in their feeds, and that detail spread fast, which wasn't a surprise because the internet eats things like these up. Within days, everyone was talking about it. Photos of Matt at NFL games were circulating. People were circling parts of his body in those photos. An adult content platform called Cam Soda reportedly reached out to Matt, offering a whopping $300,000 to create content about his jet in response to the vital video. As if that wasn't embarrassing enough, Matt's wife, Kehlani Asmus, started receiving harassing messages. People were asking questions about his private life based on what his ex-wife had shared on a live stream. Matt Kalil, who Haley referred to as a private person, was now being mocked and harassed by strangers along with his new wife. It was a disaster that could have been avoided, and Matt wasn't about to let it slide. 2 months after that Twitch stream, he filed a federal lawsuit against Haley, seeking over $75,000 in damages. The claims? Invasion of privacy, unjust enrichment, and emotional distress. In January 2026, the lawsuit became public. The internet, Twitch, had been aware of the stream but hadn't fully processed it as a legal matter, suddenly woke up to what was actually happening.
NFL pro Matt Kalil sues his ex-wife Haylee for saying his penis size ended their marriage.
After the news of the lawsuit became public, Haley gave a statement to Page 6. In her words, "The truth is, in the original live stream, which is still live on Marlo's YouTube account, I speak highly of him in multiple ways throughout that conversation. I'm genuinely shocked and incredibly hurt upon receiving news of this filing. Litigation is a harrowing and emotionally draining experience, and I'm heartbroken that he's choosing to subject our families and us to this ordeal." Haley's legal team filed a motion to dismiss, citing free speech protections under Minnesota law, and argued that the lawsuit would set a dangerous precedent for women speaking openly about their past relationships. Now, if I'm being honest, both the legal side and the free speech angle here are worth taking seriously. Everyone knows that women often get shut down when they talk openly about sex, relationships, and their own bodies, and figuring out which partners are allowed to share about their time together is genuinely tricky territory. But in this case, it's hard to separate Haley's post from that bigger issue. There was also a sentimental argument. After everything he had done to support her after their divorce, a lot of people felt it wasn't fair for her to air his private business online just to get attention. So naturally, backlash started pouring in.
She decided that she was going to speak on that in a podcast, and that is why she's now being sued $75,000, excuse me. And I don't blame him for doing that, because why are you telling my business? We talked about this. We went through mediation. We had the, I don't even know if they probably went to therapy. I don't know, but you had your lawyers there. Y'all gone through your divorce. Why are you now talking about your ex-husband's?
The audience was mixed. Yes, most people said Haley was wrong, but others felt Matt should have taken advantage of the spotlight and monetized the scandal. The host in that same podcast shared that sentiment.
Because this man in perpetuity will always be coveted and sought after. He has had offers from OnlyFans, from adult video production companies who have reached out trying to get that thing on camera. He if he wanted to monetize the situation, it's right there for him. He could easily Kim Kardashian this thing.
The comments were mixed. A few people agreed with the host that Haley was complimenting her ex-husband and a lawsuit was unnecessary. Others said it was wrong regardless of intent. One comment drew a comparison that stood out to many. If she was too small, he should understand her point of view. Likewise, she should not have been so public about their differences. The host of this video does need to talk with a therapist. Only a pervert finds this interesting or funny. Listening to him reminds me of Shakespeare. Methinks or wonders he doth protest too much. There is a 180-degree opposite of too big. It's called micro penis. Google the term. One extreme or the other could and/or cause problems in a relationship. Politeness would not be speaking of either extreme. Another TikToker made a video criticizing Matt's handling of the situation and suggesting monetization routes, complete with campaign taglines and everything.
But there would be so many better ways for him to handle this. So if I were on Matt's team, here's what I would do. I'd start with Calvin Klein. I'd reach out and I'd say, hey Calvin, I think we should collab. And the tagline for this campaign would be, big things come in small packages. Get it, because his thing is big and Calvin's are small. Next, I'd reach out to Coke. And once again, I'd say, hey Coke, think we should collab. And the tagline for this campaign would be, because sometimes you need more than one.
The comment sections dismantled her, with most people pointing out that she would not have been so chill about it if the roles were reversed, and it was a detail about Haley's gender that was made public by an ex. If the roles were reversed, would this be the standpoint? Would this be the commentary? And then she replied saying, but that's not what is happening. Person was able to clock her because they ended up saying it is in fact what is happening, but to a man. If a woman were being discussed in such a malignant and derogatory manner, you would have never made this video. And while I don't want to sound biased, this person had a solid point. If a male celebrity had appeared on a live stream and described his ex-wife anatomy in graphic detail, shown an image, and used hand gestures to demonstrate scale, especially while that woman was currently married to someone else, the internet would have called for his cancellation. Companies would have dropped him from endorsements, and even activists would have taken up the case to make sure his career was ruined beyond repair. The double standard was loud, but I don't want to dwell on that in this video. When it comes to the controversial things Haley's done over the years, breaching her ex's privacy is only the tip of the iceberg. Long before that, Haley lied about how much she was worth and even created an entire series around it. After Haley divorced Matt, she was in New York City building something for herself. She had a $17,000 a month apartment in Manhattan that she and Matt had co-leased. Then a content creator named Caleb Simpson knocked on her door. Simpson makes apartment tour videos in New York City. He ran into Haley and asked if he could film her place.
How much do you pay for rent in New York?
It's a lot. You're the apartment guy. Okay, come on in. Don't be on mommy's rug though.
Whoa, holy shit, this place is insane.
It's like one long bowling alley. Low for DC and Marvel. No other apartment has
It honestly reminds me of a superhero's lair.
She said yes. She thought it was low stakes, a fun thing to show people, but within a short time the video hit 52 million views, and the internet went looking for her. They found her TikTok and followed in waves. Overnight, a career was born. She capitalized on the traffic and started posting skits, humor, and a character she called William, her billionaire boyfriend who was controlling, obsessive, and absurdly over the top.
Welcome back to a day in the life of a stay-at-home billionaire's girlfriend. When I was getting ready today, I got a text from William's assistant. She said William is planning on coming home tonight. I couldn't believe it. I started to panic. William wasn't supposed to be home for another 2 weeks, and the apartment is a huge mess. William believes it's a woman's job to keep everything clean, so if he ever saw this mess, he would definitely dump me. The last time I left a water bottle out, he threatened to leave me for a younger woman. I just love the way he's always challenging me to be better, so I'm gonna make sure everything is spotless.
The joke was that she was playing along with a toxic dynamic in an exaggerated comedic way. The thing is, most people didn't realize it was a joke at the time, and her comments section would be full of comments like, should we tell her? We need a William reveal. You know it's bad when you hear your boyfriend is coming home and start to panic. Eventually, people started to catch on that William may not be a real person. In 2025, when everyone was confessing their biggest secrets amid the possibility of TikTok getting banned in the United States, Haley confessed.
Since we're all gonna die, there's one more secret I feel I have to share with you. I did not care for The Godfather.
What?
Did not care for The Godfather.
How can you even say that?
The video's caption indicated that the series was her way of coping with a disturbing past. Since a lot of people missed the Williams reveal posts, this satirical skit was therapy to me and helped me escape an abusive relationship by turning my experiences into something that seemed much less scary. Thank you for helping me laugh, cry, and find myself in my voice. Haley was clearly hinting at an abusive relationship with a rich ex, but she was very careful not to mention the name of the person in question. And for those who are still skeptical after the confession, Haley confirmed Williams was fake in a podcast. But this time the story was different. She admitted that she created the character to drive engagement and raise money to pay for her apartment, not because she was trying to cope with the emotional strain of an abusive relationship as she claimed earlier.
Did you actually have a billionaire boyfriend?
No. When my apartment tour went viral, I could not afford it.
Yeah.
So I was 2 weeks away from moving out, and every single one of the comments were like, what man pays for this? Part of me was like, oh my gosh, they're right, I can't afford this.
Yeah,
this is, but I'm gonna try to use that in a way that hopefully will make me be able to afford this one day. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna give them billionaire boyfriend and I'm gonna start making like little shows. I was like, this is my chance to make like my own SNL.
Which was it? Was the source material for the character real? Or was it all completely made up to drive engagement and make money? Well, it didn't matter because at the time she confessed, Haylee already had over 15 million followers and people loved her way too much to cancel her over a fake boyfriend. Of course, the fake boyfriend and inconsistencies in her lifestyle didn't bring as much backlash as the 2024 Met Gala incident. Now, this is where things start to get a little more serious. Let's dial it back to May 2024 during the Met Gala. With tickets costing about $75,000 per person, the Met Gala was and still remains one of the most expensive events in the industry.
So the tickets to the gala cost around $75,000 per person.
Outside the venue, people protested over the conflict in Gaza, over wealth inequality, and over the spectacle of celebrities draping themselves in luxury while the world was on fire in more ways than one. Now, you may be wondering how Haylee got into controversy in this situation. I'll get to that shortly, but I need to explain so you'll understand the context. You see, Haylee was contacted by E! Entertainment roughly a week and a half beforehand to host pre-event content for the Met Gala. Her job was to film celebrity departures from the Mark Hotel. Once her role was done, she went home and watched the coverage from her couch. Then she decided to post a TikTok. In it, she was dressed as Marie Antoinette, the 18th century French queen who became a symbol of aristocratic excess and elite indifference toward the suffering poor. The dress alone wouldn't have led to any issues, but Haylee took things a step further by lip-syncing a trending audio at the time.
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
Whether Marie Antoinette actually said it or not, the phrase has been historically tied to the ruling class dismissing people who were starving, and she posted it while standing adjacent to one of the most exclusive, expensive celebrity events in the world, with protests happening just on the other side of the building. The timing annihilated Haylee, and the backlash flooded in instantly.
Gesture, which shows that those celebrities are so out of touch with reality, they don't know what actually is happening right now. They're rich, they don't know how the poor people are, how it feels like to be poor, and they are just like, well, everything is okay, I'm just gonna spend $75,000 at the Met Gala, I'm just gonna pretend it's Halloween.
People accused her of being tone-deaf, elitist, and emblematic of everything wrong with influencer culture. Marie Alice Farina, another influencer with a smaller following, made a video correcting Haylee in a way that showed how impactful those words actually were.
Let them eat cake.
Food. Let them eat food and drink water. Clean water in Gaza. Over 2 million people are now experiencing famine.
That video racked up over 4 million views and was one in a string of videos condemning Haylee's actions. But it didn't stop there. Days later, Blackout 2024 started trending. What started as a simple TikTok video had spiraled into a coordinated movement encouraging people to mass block influencers and celebrities. The goal was to tank ad revenue and send a message about accountability. Haylee's follower count dropped, hate videos stacked up, and for a good stretch of time, her name was basically synonymous with the controversy. Even though people were mad at every celebrity who hadn't spoken up about the conflict in Gaza, Haylee's name was trending as the primary target of the movement. Haylee took accountability and made a video apologizing for actions.
To the audio that I used for that particular video, and first and foremost, before I say anything, I need to apologize. I am so sorry that I chose a sound that you guys could ever possibly feel was malicious in nature. If I had thought for even 1 second that the sound would be received that way, I never, ever would have used it. When I film my TikToks, I love to use trending audios and sounds that people are currently using, and this was one of them. The sound has been used in over 110,000 TikTok videos.
She called herself dumb, admitted she hadn't thought it through, apologized for making people feel unseen, and emphasized repeatedly that she wasn't at the actual gala. She was working and she went home when the job was done.
That's the only way that you get there. I was not invited by Anna Wintour. I did not hold an actual invitation to the Met Gala. I was involved only as a host, meaning that the moment that the last attendee left the hotel, I went home and I watched the Met Gala coverage from my couch with my friends. That is also why you haven't seen any photos of me on the white and green carpet for the Met Gala.
The thing is, the apology didn't stick. In fact, it sparked its own wave of criticism, mainly because Haylee kept insisting that she was a normal person and not an elite like the other celebrities being dragged. People made sarcastic videos that highlighted how insincere the apology was.
Look at all these other people that use that TikTok sound. Why aren't you attacking them? Why are you only attacking me? I have a lot of really rich rich and famous friends, and so I didn't even pay for my gown that probably cost thousands and thousands of dollars. I got it for free.
Some others felt she was being disingenuous in her attempt to seem relatable. I mean, this is a woman who competed in Miss USA, modeled for Sports Illustrated, was at the Met Gala in any professional capacity, was married to a professional football player for years, and had a $17,000 a month apartment in Manhattan. In what world was that normal? There was also the fact that the apology generated over 30 million views and thousands of dollars in revenue for the engagement.
And tell her that she needs to donate all proceeds from that garbage video to Gazans in need. Run, do not walk. Unblock her if you have to, and run, do not walk to her comment section to demand that she donates the likely tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars that video has made.
It was tough, but the heat eventually died down, and her audience moved past the incident. The blackout campaign faded, and Haylee recovered from the controversy. That same year, Haylee got into another dicey situation, but this time, it was deeper than a single video, and it revealed something dark about Haylee's personality. It all started with Haylee posting videos with a man named Kyle Vieira, a Brazilian model with a modest platform at the time. The content followed the familiar format Haylee had perfected. It was ambiguous, playful, and had that will they, won't they energy that was designed to generate speculation and drive engagement. Comments flew. People wanted to know if they were dating, and as expected, the algorithm rewarded the mystery. Videos they did together racked up millions of views. Eventually, it became obvious that both of them were an item. By then, their videos had already generated enough buzz that people recognized Kyle from somewhere else. A creator named Jamie Stone had been in a relationship with Kyle. She knew exactly who he was. And when he started appearing on Haylee's page, being twirled through the streets of New York City, filmed for content, and building a following he hadn't had before, Jamie felt obligated to warn Haylee. Both ladies had crossed paths once before, years earlier, on a magazine trip. They weren't friends, but they knew each other enough for a DM to land without being completely out of nowhere. So Jamie reached out.
Purely because I reached out to her about this very bad man that she's continuing to give a platform to, like single-handedly giving a platform to. He didn't have a platform before she came in the picture. She has been putting him in her videos, helping him make his own TikToks.
What Jamie told her was serious. Kyle was a serial cheater, a manipulator, emotionally abusive. And then she got to the part that was most immediately alarming. He had an incurable transmitted disease that he failed to disclose throughout their entire relationship, despite the fact that they had been physically intimate. She had found by accident pill bottles in his apartment with the medication name scratched off, but he had missed one, and she looked it up and was terrified when she found out it was for a sexually transmitted disease.
Because now I'm wondering, oh my God, not only am I like, oh my God, this man's cheating on me again, already super upset about that, then I'm like, oh my God, this man has this, and I have been intimate with him. What the fuck is going on? So I'm literally like shaking, okay? He's about to come back upstairs and I'm like, fuck, like what am I supposed to do right now? I'm like, do you have this thing? And he's like, no, lies to me again. And I'm like, dude, do you know that if I'm sitting here asking you about it and we continue to be intimate, that you can literally go to prison because that is illegal?
When she confronted him, he lied, and she told him there were legal consequences for continuing intimacy without disclosure. Only then did he break down and admit it, and then almost immediately made himself the victim in the conversation. She described going to the doctor alone, crying in the office, waiting on results in terror, and feeling like her ability to give informed consent had been taken from her. Jamie told Haylee all of this and more. Haylee's response to it, according to Jamie, was exactly what you would expect. She was receptive and said she believed women. She thanked Jamie and said she was going to confront Kyle. They spent hours exchanging voice notes and DMs, and Jamie felt there was genuine solidarity in those exchanges. And then a few days later, Kyle appeared on Haylee's page again. Then another video. Then she tagged him, and the content featuring him kept coming, video after video. Jamie begged her to stop. She explained that every post gave Kyle a bigger audience. Every tag extended his reach to Haylee's millions of followers. Every video made him more visible, more accessible, more credible. Haylee's response was that she had talked to Kyle at length, that she had made him sign some kind of contract or something. The contract was to ensure he would behave himself during their relationship. Needless to say, that didn't work. And that was why Jamie made the original video publicly calling Haylee out. The video was posted with the text. When you warn an influencer about the guy in her recent TikToks, talk to her for hours about how he traumatized you, and she agrees he was a bad guy, then she stops responding and doubles down on posting him because it gets her views, and now she's under fire for her new series where she lies about a fake relationship with a billionaire boyfriend, making a mockery out of women who have come forward about their real abuse. relationships. So according to Jamie, part of Haley's fake billionaire boyfriend series was based on the traumatic experiences Jamie had when she was with Kyle. Even though she didn't mention Haley's name, everyone in the comments knew exactly who she was talking about.
Sure about this, Haley took this woman's stories and made a skit with her ex that was very, very reminiscent of something that she actually experienced. Haley scripted this woman's trauma and made it into a script with Jamie's ex.
People called Haley out with comments like, yes, Haley steals every single one of her videos from smaller creators too. I always see the smaller creators' videos on my FYP, and I'm shocked no one calls her out on that. I thought we already canceled that Haley person for the Met Gala shit. Don't we all hate her already? Haley never addressed the allegations from Jamie publicly, nor did she apologize to Jamie. Eventually, Kyle cheated on Haley and did pretty much everything Jamie had warned her about. Haley spent months talking about the breakup and the manipulation she went through until she finally moved on. She was able to survive this scandal primarily because it didn't generate as much traction as the Met Gala controversy, and that worked in her favor. She got lucky, but at this point the pattern was clear for everyone to see. Haley does something that generates enormous attention. The attention spikes, follower counts move, engagement explodes. And by the time the backlash arrives, she's already made a lot of money from the scandal. The line between living your life publicly and running toward controversy gets very thin in this era of social media validation, and Haley's been dancing on that line throughout her career. About a year after she broke up with Kyle, she introduced her audience to a new man. Months before the face reveal, she teased people with multiple videos and dropped hints to keep her audience glued until she finally posted his face. As expected, the video racked up millions of views because Haley knows exactly how to pull the strings of followers. The comments rolled in and they were mixed. So many people said she was moving too fast. Some doubted the relationship's authenticity, and some even asked if he wasn't too young for her. He's moving on damn fast. Haley replied saying, I broke up with my ex a year ago. Girl, we need to talk. I've been online. When did this happen? Girl, it's okay to be single. Hell nah, he looks young. The thing is, Haley has spent so much time scripting fake characters and playing out these scripts that viewers can't tell when she's being serious or not. She has real talent, and we can't take that from her. She even made the Time 100 Creators list in 2025, and her pages continued to grow steadily despite the controversies. Haley has managed to turn it all into success and cash. She now moves with big celebrities, attends the Grammys regularly, and gets invited to multiple shows. But Haley needs to tread carefully, because if the last few years have shown me anything, it's that the internet has a retentive memory, and Haley at this point probably knows that better than anyone. Most fans have turned a blind eye to her flaws and given Haley multiple chances, but it only takes one slip up for the internet to bring up all your past mistakes and cancel you permanently. And you know what they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, just like the next TikToker on my channel.